Hi, welcome to Roy's Game Table. Today we have the Freedom 5 board game solo with Tachyon and Wraith. So pull up a chair and let's see what happens. Alright, well I wanted to do this playthrough today because I wanted to see how this game plays, or at least this scenario plays, with just two heroes. The videos that I've watched have at least three, and I just wanted to know how well it works solo two-handed, or solo with two heroes, and I am going to be using Tachyon and Wraith today to see how that goes. And so I'm going to go ahead and read the introduction, and then I'll move into the setup. Ivan Romanot, son of prolific USSR weapons developer, grew up in Lithuania during the Cold War. When the United States sent a team of superhumans, led by the world's first legacy, to disrupt the creation of a Soviet doomsday device, the resulting conflict left young Ivan an orphan. Years of fending for himself and picking up the pieces of his father's work warped Ivan into a cold-hearted, power-hungry dictator known as Baron Blade. Eventually, his quest for vengeance brought him to Megalopolis, where he has suffered numerous defeats at the hands of the Freedom 5. While the nature of their feud had escalated over the years, one thing has remained constant: the Baron's obsession with revenge against the Parsons family and his hatred for America's beloved legacy. Now, after finally perfecting his father's designs, the Baron just needs to siphon a little extra power from the city before he is ready to reveal the Terralunar Beam Cannon, a machine capable of pulling the moon from Earth's orbit and bringing the story to a catastrophic conclusion. I was 13 when I lost everything, and the Parsons took my family from me, but I will soon have my revenge. Alright, so we got everything set up so far up to part 7 of the setup here, but I do want to note that in part 6, it says bystander tokens. Place one bystander token on each of the following locations: the sporting complex and the ferry station. The sporting complex is 21, and it actually, as you can see, it doesn't have a bystander token. There is one on the ferry station, but there's not here on 21. So in case you play this tabletop simulator mod, you're going to want to know that to go ahead and make sure you put that bystander token here. But everything else up to step 7, steps 1 through 6, is set up for the game. Okay, so step 7, we draw 2 scheme cards and place tokens as identified in all 3 steps, but you don't move villains. And then you reshuffle the scheme cards with Justice Rules and Night cards in with them, and place the scheme deck slot on the board. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get the 2 scheme cards out, and the first one is going to put a yellow and a mastermind token on 28, which is the community ferry station. Okay, so yellow here, and a mastermind token will go over here on the ferry. And whenever a mastermind token is placed, Baron Blade moves there. So I guess he does that now. And so I'm going to do it now. I don't know if he does. It's set up, but I'm going to move him there because he's supposed to, based on his card, and I'll show you that. As you can see, each time a mastermind token is placed, move Baron Blade's mobile defense platform to location and deal 3 damage to each hero there. Obviously, no heroes were there. All right, well, that was the first part. And then 2 blue on Valdez Theater, which is 6. And that's up at the top left up here. So now we've got 3 henchmen up there. And then we put a red one on the central bridge, which is 25. And the central bridge is right here. It's hovering right over it. Okay, then the other scheme card, a yellow and a bystander on the university, which is number 8. So that's over here. And a bystander will go also on the university. And then we're going to put 2 red on the monorail station. And that was, let's see, that's number 14. And that's right up here. So now we got 3 red up there. And then finally, 1 red on the Dodger Beach, which I can put 1 there. So we'll put 1 over there. And by the way, during setup, you can never have an overrun. I'll tell you what an overrun is later if you don't know when it happens, because it probably will sooner than later, actually. But You do not do an overrun during setup. So I'll put these cards back on, and they're going to have to shuffle in the Justice Rules the Night cards, which that just means that no henchmen are placed, no villains move, you draw no more scheme cards. That's all that is. And for a normal game, which I'm going to play, you put 4 of those in the deck. So I will put those in the deck. I'm going to delete these other 2 out, shuffle those back up in, and now we'll move to, oops, well, I got to shuffle again because I flipped the deck. All right. And we'll move to step 8, which is to start the tracker pawn on space 2 and place plot tokens on space 5 and space 8. And that's for the mastermind track. Well, that's already been done. As you can see here, it's been done right here in the mastermind track. So we will now move to the next step, which is number 9, special cards. Each hero starts with 1 special card. Okay, so her special card for Tachyon, she's going to be our first player. It's going to be Team Up. I can get 2 dice for a villain or mastermind fight or move any number of heroes to the same location. And Wraith special card will be also a Team Up. Okay, so there's that. And then number 10, you select your heroes and gather any starting materials as listed on their hero board and place their hero miniatures on one of their designated home base locations. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set up the heroes now. We will do Tachyon. Okay, and as you can see, I've already shuffled her ability deck. I have her personal task cards. They're right here, as you can see, and I'll shuffle those a little. And then 1 random justice card, and then she has her 5 action tokens. So the justice card she's going to get will come over here in the bottom right, and it is Visions of the Future. So basically, I have to go to spot 29, which is the Chatham Wineries, and then there can't be any henchmen on it. And I roll a location with henchmen. I can exhaust an action to talk with Visionary. And then I roll a die. Odd, her visions reveal tragedy. Advance the mastermind track +1 space and discard this card. Or even gain the reward. So that could be good or bad. And there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Although Tachyon can re-roll a die with her special hero ability. I'll show you that. And then there's the reward down there at the bottom. And you immediately flip. A vision is revealed. Look at scheme cards equal to number rolled. And then return them in any order. So then add it to victory stack. Okay, so that was her justice card. And she can start at Freedom Tower or the laboratories. Well, let's see. Freedom Tower is up here, number 19. And the laboratories are down here. And as you can see, that right here, number 5, there's 3 blue henchmen here already starting to cause problems. But there's 3 green here and 3 yellow here. So I think I'll have Tachyon start at Freedom Tower. So I will take her miniature and put it up here on Freedom Tower with that blue minion that's kind of hiding there, the blue henchman. And then I think that's all I have to do for her. Yes, it is. And so I'll put her car up in the spot and we'll move over to Wraith. And she gets 1 or 2 random justice cards. I'm just going to take 1 for her because I want to keep with these other spots for special cards. Her justice one is a quiet moment where I go to the convention center. Can't have a henchman there, and then I roll 2 dice, and a 1+ success. You find comfort and wisdom to gain the reward. Okay, and she has to test spirit, which is she needs a 5 or more, as you can see on her card, to be able to get that. All right, and then she can start at Freedom 5 Tower or Montgomery Industries, which is number 10. So let's go and look and see where those are. Here's Montgomery Industries right here. I've already got Tachyon here, so I think I'll just have Wraith start there. So I'll get her mini, and we will put her on number 10. And then let's see, I think that's it. So I'll move her card up there and we will go back to Tachyon and start the game with her. Okay, first of all, I forgot to draw her cards when I was setting her up. I talked about it and didn't do it, but she does have her cards. She has Synaptic Interrupt, play anytime you would take damage to cancel all damage. Hypersonic Charge, play as an action to remove the 3 adjacent locations, defeating 1 henchman at each one. HUD Goggles, which lets me either take a card from the top of my discard pile back to my hand or draw an ability card. And then pushing limits, I can play during another hero's turn to move 1 to 3 locations. So limit, you may only play one of this card per player turn. All right. So she's started at the Freedom 5 Tower. And we got yellow minions up here and green minions down here. The first thing I want to do is use her ability to try to get rid of this Anarchy token, because her ability on the private side says once per turn you may choose one Anarchy token on your location or adjacent location and roll a die, and on evens discard it. I think you can use this ability even with henchmen on the card, on the location. Usually you have to have the henchman removed before you can interact with the token, but I think this ability is different. So at least that's how I'm going to play it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll a die, and if it's an evens, I can discard it. And it's odd, so I don't get to discard it. But I think I do want to use her hypersonic charge to move 3 locations, defeating henchman each one. And then I might as well just go on down here to the winery, space 29. Try to work on that justice card, because in this scenario, justice cards, each justice card in your reward pile may be spent to gain 1 die against any villain or Baron Blade in combat. Okay, so it's good to try to complete them, even though that one could be a bad one that she has. That I think it's worth trying to do. So for her first action, the first thing I'm going to do is actually stay there and use her research grant that she has there at Freedom Tower and draw 3 ability cards. So that's the first action I'm going to do. And that's going to let me draw 3 ability cards. Let's see what we get. Blinding Speed. Play as an action to move to any location, defeat 1 henchman. And then Hypersonic Charge. We've seen those. So now I'm going to flip to Tachyon. And for a second action, I am going to use a Hypersonic Speed to do that, what that card says. So for her first movement, I'm going to come down here and remove that henchman. That's 1. 2, remove this henchman. And then 3, remove this blue henchman and stand her back up, because that henchman knocked her down. One little henchman punched her in the face a little bit and knocked her down, I guess. And then for my next action, I'm going to do this. And as you can see, justice actions, you have to be in hero form. Resolve justice cards when at the required location. So I will, while at the Chatham Wineries, with no henchmen, you may exhaust 1 action to talk with Visionary. If I get an odd, I got to move the Mastermind track up and discard this, which would be bad this early in the game. But as I said, if I can complete this, it could be a die that I can move towards, that I can use toward a villain or Mastermind fight. She does get a reroll. Her tachyon ability, Fleet of Foot, you may reroll all dice 1 time each time you roll the dice. So that is something to keep in mind. So I'm going to roll a die, exhaust it, and roll a die. All right. Okay, so there's my action. And the die, I'll roll it. And it is an odd. So we're going to keep it. Her visions reveal tragic. Oh, no, we're not going to keep that one. We want an even. So I'm going to use her ability. You may reroll all dice 1 time each time you roll dice. All right, let's get a better roll here. Still odd. Oh, man. So advance the Mastermind track +1 space and discard this card. So this is going to go up to 3. And I discard it. And the good news is I do get 1 to replace. But that's not how you want to start the game, with something with a Mastermind track moving. So Night Patrol. Take to the rooftop, streets, and alleys to instill fear in the criminals of the city. Defeat 1 henchman of each color. Place each one defeated on this card to track your progress. Okay, and that's going to hold henchmen out of the supply as well. So I'm going to do this quickly. But that's something to keep in mind what to do. And I do have 2 actions left. So let's see where she's at. She's over here. And I could use Fleet of Foot again to go 1, 2, 3, or a hypersonic charge and get a blue, green, and yellow minion taken off. Or I could go 1, 2, 3 and get over here. It would be a yellow and a green, but I would get off 23 where this one went over on. I think I'll actually do that instead. So with with an action, I'm going to, so with another action, I'm going to use a hypersonic charge to move 3 locations, taking a minion off of each one. So she's right here on the wineries. And I will go, let's see, 1 here, and that's going to give me a yellow that I'll put on the card in a second. 2, that's going to be green to put on the card. And 3, that's going to give me another yellow. I'll just put it over here. So these 2 will come down. I'll put them on the Justice card. I've got 1 more action left. And let's see, I need a red and a blue to complete the Justice card. But I think I'm going to actually just have her for a last turn move. She can move up to 3 spaces normally. I'm going to have her move back to Freedom Tower to complete my Justice card that I just took. And as you can see, there's a red minion here on 18 and a blue here. And I'm going to move her back to Freedom Tower so I can start there next turn and maybe draw some cards. So, with her last action, I'm going to use the final hypersonic charge that I have. And I will move her just 2 spaces. 1 here, and that's going to be a red. It's going to go on the card and then move back down to Freedom Tower, and that's going to be a blue. And that, I'm not going to move her any more spaces, but that's going to be enough to complete. I got a red, green, yellow, and blue. So I'm going to put those back over in the supply. Okay, so I did that. I removed them back to the supply. And the reward is flip this card at any time to avoid drawing all scheme cards at the end of any hero's turn. Then add this card to your victory stack. And I may do this right now because I got off to a bad start with that other Justice card I got. By the way, the one that replaces it will come down here. And it's going to be Rescue the Reporter. So I go to the Dodger Beach and with no minions, I test mind, roll 3 dice, and 1+ success, I gain the reward. In her mind, she needs a 4 or better. All right, so that's all of her actions. So at the end of the turn, I have a hand size of more than 12 because the hand size limit is 12. So I don't have to discard down. So at the start of the villain phase, you draw 2 ability cards, as you see there, and then draw a scheme card to perform all the steps on the event card. Sorry about that. I'll draw 2 cards from her deck. And here are the scheme cards. I'm going to give them a good shuffle. But I'm not going to, I am going to use my reward. Flip this card anytime to avoid drawing all scheme cards at the end of any hero's turn. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now this Justice card here can be used as a die against a villain or mastermind. So that's going to be it. We're going to move over to Wraith. Okay, so on Wraith's turn, as you can see, when she's on her private side, once per turn, you may move 1 or more heroes from one location to another location. Well, let's go back to the board to see where she's at. She's right here. And there are some issues here. Now, Spirit, she needs a 5 or more to get rid of them, so that's tough on her. Let's see what her cards are. Grappling Hook, play to move to an adjacent location. Smoke Bomb, play to rescue bystander even if henchmen are present. Plays an action to move to any location with Anarchy bystander or a mastermind token. And then search your ability deck to select 1 card to add to your hand, then reshuffle. And then micro-targeting computer plays an action to attack henchmen on an adjacent location. Okay. Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is the same thing I did on Tachyon's first turn. I'm going to have her do her research action, which for her it's called Montgomery Industries R&D. So at Montgomery Industries, draw 5 ability cards and choose 1 color to keep, discard the rest. All right, so draw 5 cards, choose 1 color, discard the rest. I'm going to draw the 5 cards, and these are the 5 cards that she can take from, and so I got to choose a color, and that's 4 blue dice right here that can be used against Glamour, who is the blue villain in this scenario. So I think I'm going to take these blue cards, and I have to discard the rest. The other 2, which was micro-targeting computer, which is the one that plays an action to attack henchmen on an adjacent location. So yes, I do discard the rest of the cards. All right, that was her first action. Now the second thing I'm going to do is I eventually probably will actually use one of the cards I just took, but I'm going to move up here to spot 8, And she needs a 3 or more on tech to get these. And bystanders are very good because they can give you not only rewards when you save them, but when you get 2 icons, and I'll show you what those are when I rescue a bystander, you can turn them in for a special card. So I'm going to come up here to spot 8 and rescue them. And I'm going to use her ability to, once per turn, you may move 1 or more heroes from one location to another. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and flip her card and just show you that on the hero side, when she ends her turn at a location with henchmen, she suffers no damage from those henchmen. So I can basically finish anywhere in the board and she won't take damage from the henchmen, and that's pretty cool. But I used her alter ego ability to come up here, and now I'm already I already went ahead and flipped. So I'm going to go ahead and attack these 2 henchmen. And that was a free movement from her private side. But for her second action, we attack those henchmen. So it's going to be 2 yellow dice, and I'll just put them over here. And as I said, she needs a 3 or more on tech down there on yellow to get it. So pretty good odds that she can do this. And she took out 1 of them. Okay. Well, I'll just take out 1. And that's a little disappointing, but I'll have a reroll. I'll use another action to try to take the other henchman out. And a 6. So we get it. Okay. And then I'm going to use her fourth action to rescue the bystander that's on the space wither over here. So we're going to get to see a bystander. And it is the construction worker. Don't worry, hero. The workers' union can take care of the little guys. Reward: remove up to 3 henchmen from any combination of adjacent locations. All right. So, any combination. So all of them only have 1 spot. But blue is hardest for both of them to get. So we'll do 1 there. That's 1. And then I'll take off here because Tachyon might want to finish on number 9. So that's 2. And yellow doesn't have a villain. Well, I'll just take from the yellow. I'll take it from the zoo. Okay, so that takes care of it. And what I was talking about, in the top left corner, you see that bystander icon. Once you get 2 of those, you turn in your citizen cards that you saved, and you can get a special reward. So that's why you want to save bystanders. So she has 1 more action left. And it plays an action to move to an adjacent location and defeat 1 henchman there. So I'd like to move down here and do that, but I don't have 2 actions left to be able to do that. So I can use my grappling hook here. It does not cost an action because it doesn't have the icon. As you can see with utility belt, it has that hero icon next to the left of utility. But grappling hook I can play to move into an adjacent location. So I can use the grappling hook to move here, and then use my strike from the shadows to remove 1 henchman from the woodchuck grove. That way there's less likely of a chance for this to overrun. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play, let me move down here. I'm going to play my grappling hook to move her to an adjacent location. And that is correct, yes. And so she'll come down here to Rubendell, and then for my last action, I'm going to use the strike from the shadows to play as an action to move to an adjacent location and defeat 1 henchman there. Okay? So we'll do that. Move to the adjacent location, defeat blue. And if you remember, because of her stealth ability, when Wraith ends her turn at a location with henchmen, she suffers no damage. And so we're done there. She doesn't have more than 12 cards. So so she'll draw 2 cards for the start of the villain phase. And then we'll go over and do a scheme card for the first time in the game. And it's 1 blue on 27, which was the winery. Or no, 27 is something different. And where is 27? It's up here. It's the country club. And then we put 2 blue on number 10, which was where she starts, Montgomery Industries, and we had cleared that off. So that's not going to have overrun or have any problems. And then a green, and Ambuscade is the green villain. That one picture there that looks like Baron Blade to me, that means the villain, he's going to move to the Mag Convention Center. So we'll put green on there. That gives out a 3, and he's already there. He's already at that, so he won't move. But I think he's still, whenever a villain moves, they place an anarchy token, and there's no limit to the amount of anarchy tokens that can go on a location. So I think he still places one there. So now we have 2 that we'll have to deal with at location 20. And then if less than 3 mastermind tokens are active, add 1 mastermind token to the location of an active villain or mastermind. Okay. And we've got 1, 2, 3. So there are not less than 3. So we don't add a mastermind token to the location of active villain or mastermind. I guess we're good. So we are back to Tachyon. If you remember, is on Freedom Tower. So the first thing I'm going to do for her is flip her back to her private side. And I am going to go ahead and get my tokens back. And for the first action, I'm going to let her draw 3 cards for her research grant ability there at Freedom Tower. So she's going to draw 3 cards. Let's see what I get. A Blinding Speed. Play as an action and move to any location to defeat 1 henchman at that location. Accelerated Assault, which is one I like. Play as an action to defeat all henchmen at your location. And then HUD Goggles. Play to take the top card from your discard pile into your hand or to draw 1 ability card. Okay, so, and that's cool because what I like to do, I've played with Tachyon before, and what I like to do is use this Accelerated Assault to get rid of all the minions, and then use HUD Goggles. If I have a couple of copies, and I do have at least 1 here, use that to get it back in my hand so I can do it again. So I like to kind of combo that. So she did that with her first action. And her Justice card here is I need to go to Dodger Beach, which has 2 red on it, but Tachyon's body, her red stat needs 3 or more, so that's good. So roll 3 dice. So if I go down there, I can get another Justice card. And I might do that. I think I will. Well, let's see if there's any Anarchy tokens close to where she's at, and there are. There's 2 down here. So before I move, I'm going to use her once per turn ability to try to get rid of one of these, and I need to roll an even. All right, I did get an even, and so as it says there, if you roll an even, discard the token. So I'll discard one of these green tokens. All right, now I'm going to go back to her and flip her to Tachyon, and I'm going to use my next action to use Blinding Speed, which is play as an action to move to any location and defeat 1 henchman at that location. Okay, folks, sorry about that. I had some of Wraith's cards in Tachyon's hands, and I think I've got it all fixed now. I just have Tachyon's cards in there. So I do have my Blinding Speed, and I'm going to flip to Tachyon if I haven't done that. And for my next action, I'm going to use the Blinding Speed to move to a location and defeat a minion. And that's going to be down here at Dodger Beach. All right, and then I'm going to use another action to attack this red minion. I only need a 3 or more to defeat him, and I can re-roll. All right, 4, so we're good there. So we'll put him back over here in the supply. And now I can work on that Justice card that I have over here. So while at Dodger Beach location, I exhaust an action, I test mind, which for her, I need a 4 or better, as you can see at the top there, the green one. And then if I roll 3 dice, if I get 1 success, 1 or more, I gain the reward. Okay, so 3 dice. And I got to spin an action. All right, so I'm going to roll these 3 green dice and see what I get. And, oh, plenty, all successes, all 5s. I just needed 4. So the reward, flip this card at any time to look at the top 3 scheme cards and put them back in any order. All right, so the next Justice card that will replace that is Alien Technology. I go to Revocore, Exhaust in Action, and I test Tech, which is a 4 or better for her. 2 successes, I get the reward. All right, I may do this to check the scheme cards, but I've got one more action left. And I think with that last action, she can move up to 3 locations. I'll just move here 1, 2, 3 back up to Freedom Tower so she can draw more cards at the start of her turn again. So that will exhaust her last action. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this Justice card. Flip this card at any time to look at the top 3 scheme cards and put them back in any order. All right, so here's the top 3. And this is a green. I don't really know what's good or bad there, but the scheming is not good for me. This one is a running out of time. That's not good. And this is a rapid healing. So I want to put that on top, I think, because that's something good for us on her turn. And the scheming, if there's less than 3, you put one on. And right now there are 3. So nothing would happen during that. And then the running out of time, if there's 3 or more mastermind tokens, active, remove, and advance the mastermind track. So I'm going to put this one on, so it will be at the end of Tachyon's next turn. Then I'm going to put the scheming, so it will be at the end of Wraith's turn. And then this one here, the rapid healing, will be almost right now, because at the end of her turn, she doesn't have 12 cards, so I will draw 2 cards at the start of the villain turn. And then we will go and do the scheme. We know what the event is, and this is going to put, so this is going to be 1 red and a mastermind on Megalopolis, and it's going to overrun. I guess I should have paid attention to that better, because here's what happens when it overrun. Instead of putting it here, the 4th one there, you'll put it on the matching color, which is Fright Train. He's red over here, as you can see. So that henchman's over here. And then I got to put a red one at each location that's adjacent. So 1 there, 1 there, and 1 at the sporting complex. Okay, and then a mastermind token also at the port of Megalopolis. So we'll put a mastermind token there. And when that happens, you put an anarchy token of your choice, because that is part of the Seeds of Chaos rule over here. Each time a mastermind token is placed, add 1 anarchy token of any color to the location as well. And let's see, there's 3. There are no yellow, but there's 3 of the other ones in red. She's pretty good at red, so I'll put that there. And then, of course, Baron Blade moves down here. So all kinds of stuff going on here at this location at the port. Somebody needs to go down there and check that out. All right, so he moves, and then the next part of the step, 2 green on the Meg Convention Center, in which that's going to overrun. So that green will go over here on Ambuscade, and then we put a green on Freedom Tower, and then 1 on the Central Bridge, 1 on the Sporting Complex, and then 1 on City Hall down there. And I think that's all I do there. We're supposed to place 2. You can only place 1, but you don't overrun twice. So I think it will just overrun 1 time, and that's all we do for that one. And we did overrun and did everything we were supposed to do here. So then the 3rd one, a yellow at City Hall. So we would put a yellow there, and then if we had a yellow villain, which we don't, he would move there because there's 3 henchmen, but we don't. And then the reason why I put this on top and for Tachyon, each hero may either heal 1 damage or draw 1 ability card. So that's what's going to happen. Tachyon's going to draw an ability, and Wraith will also draw an ability. So let's switch over to her. And we will go back to Wraith. Okay, so for Wraith, if you remember, I wanted to kind of stay here and work on this Anarchy token, maybe take these guys out. But now, if you remember, at the end of Tachyon's turn, we're going to get that running out of time card. If you have if you have more than 3, you have to move the mastermind track. So I've got to get rid of mastermind tokens. And over here on number 28, there's a mastermind token, one henchman that's yellow, and she's good at taking those out, so 3 or more, and also a bystander. So a lot she can do there. So I'm going to use her alter ego action to flip. I'm going to flip alter ego, and I'm going to use her once per turn to move her to that location. So, and that's for free, like I said. So I'm going to move her over here, and then I'm going to come back to her and flip to Wraith. And the first thing I'm going to do is get my actions back. And the first thing I'm going to do is attack that minion that's on her spot. And again, she just needs a 3 or more to beat it. So we'll use this die here. And she got it. So we'll come up and remove that minion. And now I can interact with tokens. The second thing we're going to do is interact with this mastermind token. So let me go back down and flip her token. And what you do here is you just flip it, and it's a 4. So you go over to the book and you look at what the 4 is, and you can see test spirit or tech. Roll 4 dice. And strange radiation is sapping your strength. So I'm gonna test obviously tech because it's a 3 or better. Spirit's a 5 or better, and I get to roll 4 dice. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. And 4, and it doesn't matter the colors really, but I'm testing tech, and I need to get 3 successes here. So hopefully I will. And I only get 2. And I don't think there's anything I can do to fix it. The reroll play as an action to attack. I don't think I have anything that can do this. And tachyon can't help me. So I only get 2 successes. All right, let's see what happens with just 2. 6. Okay, so if you get 2 successes, I suffer 1 damage and discard 2 ability cards if able, and then discard this token. So at least I didn't get the failure, which is suffer 2 damage and advance the mastermind track plus 1 space. And apparently you don't discard on the failure. So I get to suffer damage, discard 2 ability cards, and discard the token. So let's suffer the damage, which is going to be I can't use green cards. Okay, I'll put that here to remind myself, and then 2 ability cards. I guess micro card targeting computer, and I guess also my utility belt. I have to discard 2, and then discard the token. Well, that's good. At least I get to discard the token. So we got 1 down. Now we only have 3. And I do want to get rid of 1 more, but before I do that, I'm going to use her 3rd action to rescue this bystander, because then it'll get me a special card. I've already rescued 1. So the bystander she rescues is the ungrateful lawyer. I will see you behind bars for this illegal vigilantism. Penalty, you must discard 3 random ability cards. All right, well, we'll put him down here for now. And let me shuffle these up. I'll flip them over, shuffle them up, discard 3 at random. Okay, so I'm going to lose a smoke bomb, a combat prowess, and her strike from the shadows. All she has left is her grappling hook to move an adjacent location. That was rough, except it has 2 of the icons, so I discard that, and I get another special card. All right. And this one is, please support, play anytime to remove all henchmen, 1 anarchy, and 1 mastermind token from any location. And I may do that right now because of that running out of time that's coming up. Well, if there's less than 3 at the end of her turn, you have to add 1. So I won't do it right now. So that's all I'm going to do on that location. I've got 2 more actions. And it looks like you really can't get anywhere to get anything done worthwhile. Let's look at her justice card. It's if I go to the convention center, I can do something there by testing spirit. And the convention center is right here, so I'll start making my way over there. So she can only move 2 spaces when she moves. So I'll go 1 action there in the second action. I'll leave her at the convention center. And as I said, that was my last 2 actions. She will not take damage because she suffers no damage when it's her turn at location. So we're good there. So we're at the start of the villain turn for her. I'm going to draw 2 cards. And then come over here, and then the scheme. We know what the event is, but we don't. Oh, so the top is a green and a red on the river market. So that's number 24. All right, we can put a green there. And I said red, but I meant mastermind token. So we put a mastermind token over there. And I can put a color of my choice. And I'll put a green, I guess. And Baron Blade is going to move over there. And then the second one is 2 blue on the West Gardens, which is 4 over here. And we do have room for 2 blue. So I'll move them over here. And then 1 yellow on the Sporting Complex. And there is no yellow villain. So 1 yellow on the Sporting Complex. Oops. And that's going to overrun because there's 3 henchmen. So that yellow is going to go over here on Baron Blade. And then we'll put a yellow at all connecting locations. Can't put one there. So that means we have to put this yellow also over here on Baron Blade. I think that's right. Because when you can't place it, it goes over there. We can put a yellow on Dodger Beach. And we can put a yellow down there on the airport. And then we can't put a yellow at the convention center because that's also connected to the Sporting Complex. So that will go over here. Now, the rules say that when a 3rd henchman token would be added to a villain or mastermind, discard all henchmen back to supply. And when henchman tokens are being discarded from a villain card, you place anarchy token of the matching color from the... But if it comes from the mastermind's card, you move the mastermind track 1 space. And we have 3 henchmen. So that's not cool. So we've got to, let's see, I'm going to move those over. Okay, I've done that. I moved them off the mastermind card. And I moved the track up to space number 4. And so we're done with that card. That was bad. But if less than 3 mastermind tokens are active, and there's 4 of them, you put it on an active villain or mastermind. So we are back to Tachyon. Okay, so Tachyon is going to have to remove a mastermind token because if she doesn't, at the end of her turn, we're going to get that card running out of time, which will move the mastermind track up and advance the chapter. So if she removes 1 and I can use that special card from Wraith to remove 1, we'll be good. And there's 1 right here on space 24, and there are no henchmen, so that's probably the best place to go. But the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything is flip back over to her ability and try to take off this anarchy token that's next to Freedom Tower at the convention center. So if I get it even, she can remove it. And she doesn't. So she doesn't get to remove it. That's okay. I think I will actually spend an action since I'm at Freedom Tower to draw 3 cards. Just to give myself some options. Okay, so I'm going to flip her over to Tachyon and use an action. I'm actually going to use her hypersonic charge here to move 3 spaces and to remove a henchman from each space I go to. So 1, no henchman here. 2, I'll take off a yellow. And 3, there's no... Is there a henchman? There is a henchman there. I thought there wasn't, but there is. So I'm glad I did that. So now I can interact with that card, with that mastermind token, and I will do that for her next action. So we will come up here, flip that over, and it's a 1, which is test body, and that's a 3 or better for her. Roll 5 dice. So I need a 3+ to succeed. The area is totally dark, and you sense something is afoot. So roll 5 dice here. All right, there's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she can re-roll all dice if she needs to. But she only needs a 3 or better. I got 1, 2, 3 successes, so we're good. And 3 successes, you discover a group of henchmen tunneling towards Freedom Tower and easily dispatch them. Discard this token. All right. Good, so we get rid of that token. And then with my next action, I'm right there with an anarchy token there. So I have 2 actions left. I'll go ahead and try to deal with that anarchy token. So what you do, let me shuffle it up, is I draw until I can get a green card. And so we'll just draw until I get a green card. Where's the green card? There's one. And then let me put these other ones back on. Okay, so this one, I'm going to test mind or body. I'll be testing body because that's her best stat. And I get to roll 5 dice. Drugs are flooding the streets. The labs must be found and shut down. So I'm going to roll 5 dice again. All right, let's see what happens. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 5 successes. So 3 or better. 3 successes. You find and destroy the drug labs, arresting most of those involved. Remove this anarchy token, and any 4 green henchmen in the city. All right. Well, I'm going to remove the anarchy token and put this in the discard pile over here. And I can remove any 4 henchmen from the city, yes. And I know exactly where I'm going to take them. Right, 3 of them from right here on the Meg complex. There's 3. And I'll take this one. Well, there's 2 spaces that can go. We've already seen this one, so maybe this one's coming later. I'll remove that one for 4. All right, good. That's good. And then she has 1 more action left. And I'll use it to hypersonic charge back to Freedom Tower. So 1 space up to Revocore, which gets rid of this yellow. And then over here to the viaduct, and then down to Freedom Tower to remove a green. And she has the option of drawing 3 cards at the start of her turn. And I wanted to use a card because at the end of her turn, I've got 12 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have 12 cards. So if I wouldn't have spent that card, I would have had to discard 1 anyway. But I'm at 12, so I'm good there. And that's going to end her turn. She's on Freedom Tower. So on Freedom Tower, even if there were henchmen, you don't take damage. So at the start of the villain phase, I draw 2 cards. And then we will flip the scheme card. So 2 yellow on the airport, which is right here. So 1 can go on, but unfortunately 1 cannot. So that's going to overrun. You need to start dealing with yellow. That one will go up there. And then we got to put them in adjacent spaces. There's only 2 spaces adjacent. And this one will overrun too. So that's going to go on his card. And then the other one will go over here on the Island Freedom and the South Island Freedom. So we're good there. 2 there. And then 2 red on the Central Bridge. And we can put 1, but we can't put the other. So that's going to overrun. Put 2 on Freight Train, and then 1 on the Winery, and 1 on the Meg Center. And that's it for there. And then 1 green, and he'll move to the market. So 24. And we can't put the green here. And Ambuscade will move over here to the market and drop a anarchy token over there. And then running out of time, if 3 or more mastermind. Oh, I forgot to do this. I meant to do it. Well, the fact of the matter is I did forget. So that's my own stupid boneheaded mistake. We do have 3 henchman tokens. So that means that if there are 3 or more mastermind tokens on active space, remove 1 and advance the mastermind track. So I'll remove this one because that's kind of crowded. And we will advance the Masterminds token 1 space up to number 5, and that means that we go to a plot point. So we're going to do not advance until you defeat 2 villains or the Mastermind track reaches 5. So we are going to advance. And it says, I grew up alone with nothing, watching as the Parsons defended a city full of impudent, wasteful pigs. Villain phase effects. So you draw 2 ability cards in step 1, and then for yourself. And in step 2, you draw 1 scheme card, do everything. And then step 2, perform only step 1 of the event, and only the event if it relates to Mastermind tokens. And then the special rules, the villain standees and justice cards are the same, but now devious traps. Whenever resolving a Mastermind token, all die rolls of 1 result is in 1 damage to the hero. And now we have side quests. Computer glitch. A strange signal is causing the Freedom 5 supercomputer to malfunction. Place the quest token on Chatham Country Club and the Cavern, so 27 and 2, and any hero may exhaust an action and discard an ability card while on these locations to take the quest token. Okay, so 27 is up here, and 2 is way over here on the Cavern. And so I can exhaust that and discard an ability card to do it. And of course, no henchman can be on there. You can't do anything, interact with the token with henchmen on the location. All right, well, that's it for Wraith, and we are back to Tachyon. Or excuse me, that's it for Tachyon, and we're back to Wraith. Okay, I've got to do something about this port. It's got 3 of them on here, and about to overrun, as well as the sporting complex. So I'm going to flip to her and use her once per turn ability to move to 1 hero to another location. Okay, so I'm going to move her down here to the port of Megalopolis, and then flip to Wraith and get my tokens back. First thing I'm going to do is attack. Unfortunately, body isn't one of her strong suits. It's a 5, but I'm still going to attack him. And it doesn't matter what the dice, but I will roll the 3 red, I guess. So let's move these out of here. I roll these 3 red over here. And I need a 5 or better. Okay, so I got rid of 1. And we needed some. We needed those. I better do that again. I'll use another action to fight them. I'll roll 2 this time because there's only 2 left. And that 2 doesn't matter, but I got a 6 and a 2, so I get rid of another one. And you don't always have to completely wipe off a spot because it can save you actions, and it's unlikely now that it will overrun because I've only got 1 there, and if 2 gets placed, it would be good. So I don't think I'm going to attack anymore, but instead I'm going to use the, well, I want to save up strike for the shadows because Tachyon, I think, has a lot of blue dice, and so I need to start attacking villains, and so I may just save that up. So instead I'm going to use this grappling hook to move to an adjacent location, I think. And that's going to put her at the complex, and then I'll attack these here to try to get some of those cleared off. And so it's a green, a yellow, and a red. So green, red, and yellow. And I am going to use the specific dice this time so I'll know. Because the red is a 5, the yellow is a 3, and the green is a 3 or higher. All right, let's roll. And so the green, so I failed on the red, I failed on the yellow, but I succeeded on the green. So we'll take that off. Let me move her out of the way. She's in the way of my, there we go. And I'll do it again, I guess. I didn't really want to just fight henchmen, but I don't have a choice. So we got a red and a yellow. And the red failed, but the yellow succeeded because she's 3 higher on yellow. So we're good there. And then her justice card requires her to be at the Meg. So I'm going to use her last action to move her up there And maybe next time she'll be able to do something with this. No, actually, I'm going to leave that here. Yeah, I am going to do that. Put her there. Maybe she can get rid of this guy and interact with this green token, and then also work on her justice thing. But for now, that's it. So she does not have 12 cards. Her turn's over. Start of the villain phase, we'll draw 2 cards. And then we'll come over here, and the first scheme card that she gets will 2 yellow on the bridge arch, which is number 3. And we haven't done anything with that yet, so we're good. But they're building up over here now. And then 1 green on the laboratory. And then a blue on the Chatham Country Club. And if there's 3 henchmen there, Glamour will move there. So we'll put blue, and there are 3. So Glamour is going to move over there, excuse me, and put a Anarchy token up there on that space. And then scheming, if less than 3 mastermind tokens are active, add 1 mastermind token to the location. To the location of an active villain or mastermind. There are less than 3. There's only 2. So we add a mastermind token. And at some point, we're going to have to come up here and deal with this, I think. Where's Tachyon? She is at Freedom 5. So I guess I'll put the mastermind token up there at number 27. Whenever you place a mastermind token, you have to put an anarchy token of your choice. I'll put red if I'm going to move her up there. And man, a lot of stuff up there now. And then of course Baron Blade will move over there, and he is where? He's at 24, so he'll just move right up here to 27. I'll kind of set him off the side, hoping I'll forget about him there. And then we got to do another scheme card, but we only do the top, but it doesn't matter. Justice rules the night. So we're done with Wraith's turn, and we are to Tachyon. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm not going to draw any cards for her, and I'm not going to use her ability because I don't know if there's yeah, there is an Anarchy token. I will use her ability to try to get rid of this. So I'm going to roll a die, and if it's even, I get rid of it. Let's see what happens. It is even, so I will get rid of that Anarchy token. And then I will flip to Tachyon, and I'm going to use Blinding Speed for my first action. Let me give my action tokens back for my first action. I'm going to use that to move to any location, defeat 1 henchman there, which is going to be this country club, and defeat that blue henchman. And then for my second action, I'm going to use Accelerated Assault to play as an action to defeat all henchmen at my location. All right, and then I'm going to use a HUD Goggles to be able to bring that back into my hand. So I'll have it used later. And so I defeated all the henchmen at this location for that second action. And then for my third action, I think I might actually go ahead and interact with this mastermind token that's right here. So I'll do that first. It's going to be number 1, but let me use the action to do that. Okay, so I flipped over the action, and number 1 in this new stage is a laser blast fires down at you from the mobile defense platform. Move Baron Blade to your location and suffer 3 damage. Afterward, discard this card. So, all right, well, Baron Blade's already there, and Baron Blade's already there, so I'll suffer the 3 damage. Let me get that first, and I get to discard the token. Okay, so I'll discard the token. Go ahead and do that because it won't kill me. So she can't use red cards. She can't use... Oh, she loses 2 actions, which are her last 2 actions. They go on this card over here. That's what this token means. You place an action token on this times 2. So she loses her last 2 actions because she doesn't get to use the one she's exhausted. Has to be the ones active if you can. And then places another token on that. So she's lost 3 of her actions, and they only have 5 hit points. So that was pretty brutal. And Devious Traps, when resolving Mastermind token, all die rolls of 1 result and 1 damage to the hero, but she didn't have to roll anything. Well, she got rid of the Mastermind token, but paid a price, and I really wanted to attack Glamour here, and I may still do that, because she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue dice, 7, 8 that she could get, and then 9, 10. But she has to get a 5 or better. And Wraith also has a couple. So I may end up trying to attack them at some point. I got to do it. The Mastermind, I got to get the villains. So we'll see what happens. But that's going to do it for her turn. So I don't have more than 12, so I'll draw 2 at the start of the villain phase. And then the first scheme card will put a green minion and a bystander on the cathedral. Okay. So 1 there and a bystander. And then 1 blue and a bystander on Montgomery Industries. So it's just going to fill it up and put a bystander there. And I really need to get Wraith there so she can train. And then a red and move the red to the port of Megalopolis. So we put just 1 red over here, and he's already there. But I think I still put an Anarchy token there because he was supposed to move. Yes, and so now running out of time. If 3 or more Mastermind tokens are active, remove 1 and advance the Mastermind track. And there are only 2. So I'm glad I did that. Because I didn't know this card was coming, but I'm glad I did it. So if not, and there are not, place this card next to the Mastermind track. And if there are ever 3 running out of time cards, discard them and advance the Mastermind track. So that was a good move to get rid of that Mastermind token. But that was the first of them. And then we just do the top here. Okay, so 2 green on the cathedral, and that's where we placed it earlier. So 1 green goes here, and then it is going to overrun. So we put a green on Ambuscade. He's only got 2 henchmen right now, and then we got, let's see, it's connected to 3 spots. So we'll put a green on the zoo, a green on the stock exchange, and we can't put it on the bridge arc, so it's going to go here. And then if you remember from the rules, when you put the 3rd one on there, you discard all of them. And if it was from a villain card, place 1 Anarchy token of a matching color on that villain's location. So we'll move these 3 green back over here. Ambuscade is over here on 24, so we'll put a green over here on 24. There's 2 there now. And that'll do it. And I think I do want to make my move on Glamour now to try to take a villain, take her out. Now, she can't play green cards, and I hope I do have a green card that I want to use, so I've got to get rid of this. I don't think I've been playing. Okay, I think I do want to make my move on Glamour. I think I can get a lot of dice for it. And so I want to go ahead and do that, but she can't play green cards, and I do want to play green cards. So the first thing I'm going to do is flip her to Maya Montgomery, and use her to move to 1 location. And so she's up here at the Meg Center. I kept wanting to do that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move her to Montgomery Industries. And then the first action I'm going to do, if you go back to her card for Suture, at Montgomery Industries or Freedom Tower, heal all damage, then you may reshuffle your ability deck. So that's what I do for her first action. I am in Alter Ego, so I can do that. You have to be in your Private Citizen, they call it in this game. So I'm going to heal the damage. So I'll put that back in the bag so I can play green cards now. And I will go ahead and shuffle my ability cards back in. And the discard pile, from what I understand, does get shuffled back in here. So that was my first action. For my second action, since I'm there, I'm going to do her Montgomery Industries R&D. And so draw 5 ability cards, choose 1 to keep and discard the rest. Okay, and blue is what I want. So I'm going to keep these blue cards. And I said choose 1, but I meant you choose 1 color to keep and discard the rest. I'm going to keep the blue and discard the rest of them. And then if I can get them in the discard pile, hold on a second. Okay, and now I'm going to flip to Wraith. And I want to move, she's got to move all the way over here to Chatham, where everybody is, it seems like. Tachyon's there, Glamour's there, Baron Blade's there, there's a couple other things. But I can move her because I do have my utility belt. Plays an action to move to any location with an Anarchy, Bystander, or Mastermind token. So I'm going to move her way over here. And that will cost an action. Her second action. Actually, that's her third action. The first one was to heal. Yeah, the first action was to heal. And the second action was to draw the cards. And the third action was to move. So now we've got Tachyon and Wraith on the same spot as Glamour. So we're going to do a showdown. So you're going to get to see what that is if you haven't seen one. And let's go over to Glamour. And she's only got 6 hit points. And I do have to roll a 5 or more for both of them, both Tachyon and Wraith. But her defense, if an attacking hero rolls more even numbers than odd, the attack chases an illusion and Glamour suffers no damage. The counter strike is that you move to the hero to the closest location and deal that hero 2 damage, but they're both on the same location. So they'll take damage, just stay there and take damage, basically. And then after the attack, you move her to a random location and heal 2 damage and place 1 Anarchy token on that location. And so that happens if I don't defeat her. So it's going to be hard. I have to get a 5 or more, but I think I am going to get a lot of dice. So we're going to go ahead and turn in the dice. And we'll do Tachyon first. Well, we'll do Wraith first since I've got her hand. And I'm going to use the team up for 2 dice. This for 1. This for 2. And this for 1. And then for Tachyon, I'm going to put in 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So she's got 9. And Wraith has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 15. And for the best odds, I need something like 18. So pretty close. I do have 2 Justice cards I could turn in. And, you know, it's pretty important that I do it. I think I will turn these Justice cards in for damage or for dice. So I'm going to have Wraith go first, or I'm going to have Tachyon go first. So she's going to roll 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dice. Okay, so let's assemble those. Okay, so here are the 11 dice, and as you can see, she needs a 5 or more on blue to be able to get a hit. And if I roll more, let's see, what was it? If I roll more even than odd, the attack chases illusion and Glamour suffers no damage. So she does have a reroll from her own ability. We'll see, but let's go ahead and roll the dice and see what happens. All right, let's separate out the evens and odd first. So there's an odd, even. Oops, that was a 2, I think. Even, odd, odd. Okay, so I rolled 3 even and 8 odd. So it would go through, but I only got 3 hits out of all those dice, which is half of her hit points. Now she can re-roll all of her dice if I want her to see if I can get a better result. The problem is if I do that, I have to re-roll my successes, and if I do that, it could be worse. I may have fewer successes, or I may roll more evens and odds. So I don't really know what to do. I think the best thing to do in this situation is just take her hits. So I am going to do that. Glamour, I rolled more odd than even. So she will take 3 damage. All right, now we're going to go over to Wraith. And she put in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice. So it's going to be hard. So I need to get, half of them need to be blue. Or half of them need to be a 5 or higher to be able to beat her on this one try. I'm just going to use 3 blue and I guess the 3 red. Okay, so I'm going to use these 6 dice here, the 3 blue and the 3 red, and I need more odd than even, and I need a 5 or better. Okay, I've got 1. Well, it doesn't matter. None of them hit. So it doesn't matter if I'm more even than odd, none of them hit. And that really sucks. So the counter at strike is move the attacking hero to the location of the closest hero and deal that hero 2 damage. They're on the same one. So they're both going to take 2 damage. I'll give Tachyon her damage first. Let's see. So she can't use green. And so she can't use green. Oh, and that's going to knock her out. That's 5. That's 5 hit points. Okay, well, this is going to be a good chance for you to see what happens when a hero is defeated. When you suffer 5 total damage, or if all the actions are locked, the hero is knocked unconscious, at least for a moment. When a hero is defeated, move their character to one of the home bases listed on the hero board and discard all damage tokens on them and advance the mastermind track plus 2 spaces. So let's go ahead and move. We'll just move Tachyon here to Freedom Tower, I guess. Well, there's a lot going on here that needs to be done. I'll move her. This is one of her home bases. I'll move her over here. And then we discard all of her damage tokens, which means I at least get all my action tokens back. But that's not really how I wanted to heal. I guess I shouldn't have attacked Glamour in that sense at that time. I forgot that she had 3 hit on her. And then we moved the mastermind track up too. So it's 1 space away from advancing again. All right, now we got to get 2 damage for Wraith. So she loses 2 actions. 1 that she had left and another one. And then the other token is she loses 2 more. So she's basically on her next turn, she's going to have to move to Montgomery Industries and just to heal so she can get her actions back. And we're not even done. Glamour now moves to a random location, heals 2 damage, and then place an anarchy token on that location. Just brutal. So she's going to heal 2 damage. I'll just go ahead and do that. So from 3, all those dice I rolled, I had like 18 dice. And I can just flip it actually. And she only took 1 damage. But she's got to move to a random location. And that is going to be, it's the top one, which is number 19, Freedom Tower. And you put the card on the bottom, which I did. So she doesn't move real far. She goes to Freedom Tower. And instead of putting an anarchy token there, well, let me show you what happens on Freedom Tower. It says, instead of placing an anarchy token here, place a Freedom Tower anarchy card face down. If there are 2 cards here, the heroes lose. So now I've got to deal with that. If I don't get rid of that, and another one gets put there, I'm going to lose to that. So this is what they look like. The Freedom Tower anarchy cards, they'll go over here, and I've got to deal with that now. All right, well, we're finally done. Okay, so that was the end of Wraith's turn. And before I end her turn, I'm going to use this police support. Play at any time to remove all henchmen, 1 anarchy, and 1 mastermind token from any location. And I'm going to remove it from here because I want to be able to get this bystander on her next turn so she can start trying to get more special cards again. to start helping. So I'm going to remove these 3 henchmen. And I know there's other spots with mastermind tokens and whatever, but that's what I'm going to do. And so we're going to remove those 3 henchmen, and that's all that we had. So we'll discard that. And now it's the end of her turn. She doesn't obviously have more than 12, so she'll draw 2 cards at the start of the villain phase. And then we will resolve her scheme cards. The first one is a Justice Rules the Night. Perfect timing. Finally, a breather. No henchmen are placed, no villains move, draw no more scheme cards. So we're done, and we're back to Tachyon. Okay, so Tachyon is right here at the laboratories, and somebody's going to have to deal with this anarchy token over here, because if we get 2, we'll lose. And might as well be her, but we do have some other problems going on. We got some overruns coming, so I may actually spend time doing that. I think I actually will do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is flip her over and use her ability to try to get rid of the anarchy token that's next over to her over here. It's adjacent. So we'll roll a die. I'll just roll this blue one. And if I get an even, it's going to, and I do get an even, so I get to remove that. And we don't have any more red. I got to get over here and get rid of these red. I may do some of that too. But first, I need to try to clear out some of these areas here at 3, 4, and 5, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna draw cards. I came here in case I could draw cards. Well, I had to come here, one of the spaces, because she got knocked out. But I'm not going to draw cards. Instead, I'm going to. I got some problems going on 3, 4, and 5 over here, so I think I'm going to move over here and do these. But first, since I am at the laboratories, I'm going to go ahead and use my first action to let her draw 3 cards there. Okay, so that was only 2. And I'll shuffle her deck back up and draw another one. All right, there we go, hypersonic charge. So now I'm going to flip the tachyon, and for my next action, for my second action, she's going to hypersonic charge and move 1 space. I'm going to go here, remove a blue. No, I don't want to remove her. Remove a blue. Here and remove a blue. And here to remove a yellow. And I've got 3 more actions left. And I want to be able to get at least 1 anarchy token and take care of these guys. So I think while I'm here, I'm going to use my next action to do blinding speed, and which allows me to go any location, defeat 1 henchman at that location. So I'm going to move her all the way over here to 26, because I got to start dealing with this. Remove that henchman. I also need to get rid of some red, because we only got 2 now over here. And then for her next action, I will attack this last red henchman, hopefully defeat it. Yes, she only needed 3 and I got a 6. And then for her last action, I'll try to deal with one of these red anarchy tokens. So let me find an anarchy card. Okay, so there's a red anarchy card, and roll 3 dice to test. Blade Battalion soldiers have kidnapped a citizen and are fleeing on the rooftops. So roll 3 dice. I'll roll these 3 red. And I get to test. Here, let me try to lighten. There we go. I get to test red. 2 successes. I'm going to use her ability, her Tachyon Fleet of Foot ability, to re-roll all my dice, because I want more than 1 success. Well, 1 success may be enough, but I want more than 1. I'm just going to do it. There we go. We got 2. So 2 plus successes. You defeat the goons and rescue the captive. Draw 1 bystander card and gain the rewards. Remove this anarchy token. All right. So we're going to draw the bystander card, and it is a news reporter. We're here live on the scene with, whoa, tell me you got that on camera. Each hero may discard 1 to 2 ability cards and draw the same number from their deck. I'm not going to bother with that right now. So we rescue the bystander, and I get to discard a, Well, this goes in the discard pile, and I get to discard that anarchy token. That's the end of her turn. Let's see. And she does not have more than 12 cards. So she'll, at the start of the villain phase, she'll draw 2. And the first scheme that she has to do is green and a mastermind on the stock exchange. Okay, so the green can go there. We will put a mastermind token there. And that means I can, well, no, was another chapter. We don't place an anarchy token anymore, but Baron Blade does still move over here to the stock exchange. All right, so he'll be on there with everybody else. And then 2 yellow on the Revocor headquarters, and that's empty, so we're good there. It won't overrun this time. And a red at the cavern. If there's 3 henchmen, move him over there, but there will only be 2. So Fright Train won't move. And then the personal tasks. So she's going to have to draw one of her personal tasks. And this is going to cover up. We don't have any special cards, but it will cover up if I don't get rid of it. And I've got to go to the cryo chamber for Ryan Frost. I got to upgrade it. So I got to go to the laboratory, which is close by, I think. Oh, no. It's way on the other side now. And do that. So that was just 1 card. Now I got to do the other card. I don't know if I did this last time, but if I didn't, I'm sorry. I just do the top. I put a blue and a mastermind token on number 5. So a blue and a mastermind token. And the event does not have anything to do with the mastermind token. So we are done. And we now will go to Wraith. All right, well, Wraith only has 1 action. She's got to heal. So I'm going to flip her and move her to Montgomery Industries where she can heal. And let's see, she's up here. So I'm going to move her down to where she starts. And then I'll heal her damage. When I get this token back, I'm just basically going to be flipping it over here. And I do heal, and I can reshuffle my ability cards. I heal all damage, and you make sure I follow your ability cards. So I get my actions back. And I'll heal these 2 damage. And that's going to be it for Wraith. So I'll draw 2 cards and go right to this, back to the scheme deck. The first one, put a blue and a mastermind token on number 4, the Gardens. So we can do that. It won't overrun is what I mean. So there, get a lot of mastermind tokens coming out though. We don't place an anarchy token, but Baron Blade does move. And by the way, he was supposed to move to Woodchuck Grove on the end of that last turn with tachyons, but it doesn't matter because now he's going to move to the Gardens over here where I just put the other mastermind token. All right, then 2 yellow on City Hall. Only 1 can go, so we'll have to put a yellow on Baron Blade. And that's the 3rd one. And if you remember, that moves the track up 1. So we're going to have to move the track to 8, and we'll put these yellow ones back into the supply. And let's move the chapter on to chapter 3. It says, villain phase effects, active hero draws 2, and then you draw 2 scheme cards, perform all steps in the event, and the second one performs steps 1 and 2. Fools, they think they've won. They've yet to see the full scope of my revenge, a far greater legacy. And then the special rules are all the same except wicked schemes. When a villain moves, roll a die. Odds, place a mastermind token with the anarchy token placed. And Baron Blade would move. All right. So that was just the yellow. Well, we got to do an overrun too. Let's see. Where was that? City Hall. We can't do an overrun to... Let's see, it connects to University, and it also connects to the Meg Center. And then we got it, and then it's supposed to come here, but there's already 3 henchmen at number 15, so that'll go over here to that one. That was just the second one. The third one is the green, and move only if there's 3 henchmen to the laboratory. So Ambuscade won't move. And now Wraith has to do a personal task. So she'll draw her personal task, and it's going to be lead an important board meeting at Montgomery Industries. Perform the personal task action and discard a blue ability card at Montgomery Industries. Okay, rough. And that was just the first game card, I think. So the second one, we only do the top yellow and a bystander at the airport. And we can't put a yellow there, so that's going to overrun. So we'll put a yellow here. And then we'll put a yellow connected over here, the sports complex. There's no more yellow to place, and when that happens, you place an anarchy token of that color instead, but there are no yellow anarchy tokens because there are no yellow villains. So when you can't do that, you advance the mastermind track instead. So that's going to go from 8 to 9. I'm about to lose the game. Let's see. It was the airport. I can't put a bystander token there, by the way. But it was the airport, so I put one here. I put a yellow there. And I was supposed to put a yellow there, but I couldn't, and there's only 2 connecting ones. So that's it. And the personal task doesn't have to do with masterminds. So we are back to Tachyon. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do for Tachyon is use her ability to try to get discard one of these. If I roll even, I get to do that. And it's going to be even. So I do get to discard 1. And then I'll just go ahead and flip back. I'm going to use, for her first action, the hypersonic charge. And so move 3 spaces. I'm going to go 1 and get rid of a yellow because we are short on yellow. In fact, I don't think we have any over here. We don't. So there's 1 there. Then I move up here, remove a yellow for 2, and move down here and remove a yellow. And then for her second action, I'm going to use the accelerated assault to defeat all henchmen in my location. And then, so I don't have to come back down here, I'm going to use the HUD goggles to be able to pull that back out. So I can use it again. But so her first action was to do the hypersonic assault. Second was the accelerated assault to get rid of these 2 yellow henchmen here. So now we got like 5 over there. And I'm going to rescue this bystander with my next action. So, because I'll be able to get a special card. And I've got to start trying to get dice. So the bystander I rescue will be the business executive, nothing, no reward. But with this other one over here, I can turn them in and get a special card. So let me turn them in. And her special card is play anytime, enable hero to re-roll any number of dice. So we finally have that. That was a good one. But the problem is I can't use it because I've got this personal task that's covering up. But I do have the bystander and the special card. All right. So we got 2 more actions. And she can move 3 spaces. I may come get this other bystander. I need to try to get dice. So I am going to move here for 1 action. Save this from the last action. So I'll go ahead and flip those. And the bystander that I save is the Midwest Detective. Oh, heck, this town is more than I bargained for. Look at the top scheme card, discard it, or place it back on top. And so it's going to be running out of time. I'll discard it because I got a lot of mastermind tokens. I don't want it to advance because I'll end up losing. And then he comes over here. And that's it for her turn. And she still doesn't have 12. So at the start of the villain turn, I will draw 2 cards. And we will do the scheme cards. The first one is a yellow and a mastermind on the sports complex. And I may not have, the sport complex can take it, but I may not have any more mastermind tokens, and I don't. And when you're out of mastermind tokens, advance the mastermind track +1, then move a mastermind token from another location on the map to your choice. The location of your choice, but it's going to go to 10. And when it goes to 10, you have to flip over the mastermind card when the track reaches 10, which it did. So we'll flip. Master Plan effect, instant. Move Baron Blade and all heroes of Freedom Tower. Baron Blade activates his cannon. Each hero discards one random yellow power card. And then the heroes attack. And I've got to beat them. Right here, I've got to deal 27 points, or 26 points of damage. His personal hit points are 4 + 2, which is 6. Haven't done anything to the platform, so that's 26. All right, let's move them all over there to Freedom Tower. He's over there. And Wraith will move over there. And Tachyon we'll move over there. And then, let's see, I have to discard something. He activates, each hero discards a random yellow card. Okay. I mean, it's supposed to do it random, but it really doesn't matter. I'll just discard the 2 yellow one because I don't feel like shuffling them around. And I don't even know if Wraith has any yellow. Yep, she does. I'll do the same thing for her because I have to actually do 28 because he has two henchmen, which are kind of like shields for him. So I get to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow dice. And I can't use this because I have a personal task. So I only get to roll 6 yellow dice to attack him. For the both of them, she gets 3 and Wraith gets 3. She has to have a 4 or better, and she gets 1, and Wraith gets 2. So I lose because when you attack and don't defeat them on the first attack, you lose. And when the heroes attack and fail, we advance this, so we will advance it. And with the defeat, the Freedom 5 can only watch as Baron Blade's cannon unleashes a beam of blinding light at the moon, slowly pulling it toward Earth. Suddenly, the moon has stops moving. Looking up, you see heroic reinforcements have managed to subdue a distracted Baron Blade and stop the device just in time. After bringing Blade to prison, the wounded Freedom 5 retreats to their tower to recover. And the rewards, if we were playing campaign, each hero begins your next adventure with 1 damage token. Additionally, after setup, place an extra mastermind token on a random location. So that's what would happen if we were moving on. And that's the game. Well, I did it with 2 heroes, and I didn't do very well. This is my first game ever with 2 heroes, but all I did was 1 point of damage to 1 villain, and didn't even come close to defeating Baron Blade. And I've watched some other playthrough videos, and other people didn't seem, the ones I watched, they didn't seem to do too well either, but they were brand new to the game, and they had not had the advantage of watching other videos. I have. I was somewhat familiar with the scheme, but it didn't make any difference. I don't know if I didn't make good decisions or if it's just hard playing with 2 heroes. But I had a hard time with it. I don't know if putting a 3rd one in would have made it easier. But that's going to be Freedom 5, a Sentinel Comics board game with just 2 heroes. I think there's people who are interested in seeing how this works solo with 2 heroes, and you've seen it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I put out any other future videos. And until that time, I'll save you a seat at the table. Thank you.